What's up guys, it's Jeff Chan from MMA Shredded. I'm here in Nuremberg, Germany at the Rebel Martial Arts Festival. I've been invited by Matthias, the host, to teach a seminar which happened yesterday. Now today, day 2, there's actually 23 different martial arts instructors from 23 different martial arts backgrounds coming in to teach, and I have the chance to try several different martial arts that I've never trained before. If you don't know who I am, I have an MMA background. I have Muay Thai, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, JKD, boxing, a bit of Krav Maga. And now I'm gonna be trying some more traditional martial arts, and I'm gonna be giving my opinion on whether I feel it's effective or not.
So here at the Rebels Martial Arts Festival, we will try to bring certain martial artists and martial arts systems together, just see how it went, just being friends, being together, training together. It is so great having you. Thank you very much for joining us.
So I just finished the Capoeira class, probably one of the coolest classes I've ever taken before. A lot of like handstands, a lot of lunges, the use of the legs. Do I think it's effective for MMA? I definitely believe so. I like how it's sneaky. They drop their hands, they dip very low, but it's also very similar to my style. You know, if you followed my channel for a while and watched me spar, I like to drop my hands like Dominic Cruz. I like to move my head, I dip low, and you know, people who don't spar or don't train themselves, they think, oh, you're so open to getting hit, but really, it's actually a lot harder than you think. And I feel like Capoeira is the same thing. You think you can hit them, but really it's a lot harder than you think. I feel like the style is so unorthodox that flying kick, cartwheel kick can catch you at any moment, really. And I kind of think if I continue to train it, it would relate to how my style is.
I'm talking with Wiley because I'm just about to jump into the Aikido class. Picked another traditional martial art, and I'm gonna let you know if I think it's effective or not.
I just finished the Aikido class. I definitely believe the techniques work. They use the right body mechanics. They turn your wrists into positions that hurt you and make you fall. They off balance you. They redirect you. They work. The but is that I feel like the techniques work only when your opponent overcommits or commits, because these techniques derive from sword fighting where they slice through. So with that said, the techniques work when your opponent overcommits on like an overhand punch. Essentially what I'm trying to say is these techniques work very well against the untrained. If the untrained doesn't know what they're doing, they overcommit on a punch, you can easily maneuver them, redirect them. With that said, I'm not saying these techniques don't work on trained fighters. I just believe that you need to strategize a little bit more. For example, if your opponent is a boxer, he's not gonna overcommit on every strike. He's gonna pop, pop, pop. And if he's pumping the jab with perfect technique, pulling his hands back to his face and not committing, it's gonna be very hard for an Aikido guy to redirect and grab their wrists and put them on the floor. How would you do that against a boxer or a trained fighter? Maybe you would bait him, irritate him to overcommit, or get him tired, get him on that one time where he commits. At the end of the day, I believe all techniques work, all martial arts work. You just really need to adapt and you need to fill the holes. I believe all martial arts have really good techniques and all work, but they all have their holes. I have a Muay Thai background. I don't think Muay Thai is perfect either. Muay Thai is very effective, but the hole in Muay Thai is that you get taken down because you're staying too tall. So every martial arts has holes. So with that said, with Aikido, I believe that the hole is that it works only when your opponent overcommits. So to fill that hole, you need to figure out how to get your opponent to overcommit. That was a really cool class. We did a lot of mobility, a lot of like poses, a lot of patterns. It reminded me of like a Jet Li movie. I really definitely think that this gets you in really good shape, because if you look at the instructors, they're like super jacked and athletic. I had a lot of fun doing it. Really hard time memorizing the patterns. In terms of how effective it is, unfortunately, because we did only patterns and solo drills and not training with an actual partner, I can't really comment on whether it would be effective in MMA, but it's definitely worth training because it definitely strengthens the body, the core, the flexibility, and definitely the memory. All right guys, so I'm jumping into the next one, which is Kung Fu, traditional Kung Fu. We see it all the time in Chinese action movies, and now I'm going to try it, learn some things, and I'll let you know if I think it's effective and whether I can apply it to MMA or not.
So I just attended the HEMA class, which is historical European martial art. So they train like with this European long sword, which is like a steel blade. And yeah, unfortunately you missed that, but you also had a great class.
Fortunately, they do the two classes at once and I had to miss the longsword, but I did the Kung Fu. I thought it was really cool, very different. A lot of like horse stance. I feel like it can be effective in MMA if you practice it enough. Just like any martial art, if you don't apply the techniques you learned in sparring, it won't work. A lot of techniques were actually somewhat similar to, say, Muay Thai. We worked on defending straight kicks a lot, and a lot of it is stepping off to the side and striking. That's exactly what you would do in Muay Thai, except the signals, the hand signals are slightly different. So in Muay Thai, we'd brush, or we'd brush here. In Kung Fu, they taught us to brush this way and strike. So it's actually the exact same thing, it's just slightly different how we're actually brushing the technique. So unfortunately, I was unable to attend Instructor Thomas's long sword class because I was busy doing Kung Fu, but he's generous enough to do some play sparring with me with the fake swords. Thank you so much. What a workout. I had my limbs cut off right at the beginning of the round, but it was extremely fun. Like I said, I didn't take the class, so I don't know any techniques, but all I really tried to do was deflect the sword as if I'm parrying punches. Any tips for me?
Oh.
Do I think long stick is effective? Well, it is a weapon, so of course it's effective. I'd be confident to fight anyone with this big long stick. Now, how does it apply to MMA, or would I continue training this? Yes, because as you can see, the stick is super thick, very strong, and we're doing all these drills, training our forearms, and it really, definitely strengthens your forearms, which is really good for jiu-jitsu and MMA and just grappling in general. I had a lot of fun playing around with this long stick, a lot of cool techniques that I learned. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I truly had a really great time at the festival here. If you're new to martial arts or you want to get into martial arts but you don't know where to start, the Rebel Martial Arts Festival is a great way to get started because you can dabble into so many different martial arts and figure out what works for you. Mattias is actually planning on hosting one once a year. This is the first festival.
So thank you very much for being with us. And like Jeff said, we started out in Germany in like a really small martial arts school. And then we always had this dream of bringing people together, not for competition purposes, just for being martial artists, training together, making connections. And I think the festival is a good place to start.
Yes, martial arts is not just about competition. It's about community, respect, discipline, self-control, confidence, a hobby. It changed my life, and I'm sure it's changed your life.
It did indeed.